What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, and it's about to go down this weekend at D23. Today is Disney Plus Day, so happy Disney Plus Day. But really, what we're waiting for is 2 days from now, Saturday, September 10th, where Marvel Studios has their panel at D23 to talk about all of their upcoming projects. And of course, as we get closer and closer, the reports start to come out. And today it seems like we could have our biggest reports yet. And of course they are about casting news. Lately, over the past couple of weeks and really over the past year, depending on what project you're talking about, we've been getting a lot of info about certain actors who are going to be playing certain roles, like John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic, which we eventually saw, just not in the main universe. But now that some projects have been confirmed, like Nova, an official release date has been given for the Fantastic Four project, which means the Fantastic Four casting should come soon, and with rumors going around that Henry Cavill has been cast for something, people are really wondering what D23 has in store for us. But today I think it gets a little bit more serious. 2 days before Marvel's D23 panel, we have some very interesting rumors that have come out, specifically involving the casting of the Fantastic Four, the casting of Henry Cavill, and the casting of Nova. Now, of course, as always with the rumor mill, take this info with a grain of salt. Sometimes rumors are true, but of course, sometimes they end up not being true, even if they do come from somewhat of a reliable source. But let's take this first one for example. The first one is coming from John Campea, and most people have heard of, at least, the John Campea show. Now, I will say this before we get into what he said about the casting for the Invisible Woman. John is the one who had the leaked photos of Spider-Man No Way Home, and he does know a lot of people in the industry, so I'm sure he has heard some legitimate information. And what he has stated on his show recently, yesterday in fact, is that Jodie Comer is indeed going to be playing the Invisible Woman. That's at least what he has heard from what he calls a reliable source. Also, wait till you hear the rumor about who's playing the Human Torch. It's very interesting. But going back to Sue Storm, I like this choice a lot. I think it's a great choice. And as you can see in some edited photos of her as Sue Storm, she looks really good. But I've really liked her as an actress in the projects that she's been in, most recently Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. And this makes sense because Free Guy technically was a Disney film, since Disney owns the studio that made Free Guy. So she's already technically worked for Disney in the past. It makes sense that she would be on their radar. And again, I think this is a golden choice. Now, for the rest of the Fantastic Four, the recent rumor has it that out of all of the names that have been listed lately, some aren't what we think. We've heard a ton of names thrown out there. We've heard John Krasinski, but he's not playing Mr. Fantastic, Henry Cavill, names like Denzel Washington, John Boyega, a bunch of different names, and it got really confusing. But apparently, the recent report and what I've heard recently is that John Krasinski is still going to be playing the main MCU's Mr. Fantastic. Now, this report is kind of contradicting to what some other insiders have said, but to me, it just makes sense. They have all listed his name on an actor that they've heard to be joining Marvel Studios, so how could it not be for Mr. Fantastic? That would be confusing, especially since he really does make the perfect Reed Richards. If I had it my way, I would keep him as Mr. Fantastic, and the latest rumor says that that's exactly what Marvel Studios is going to do, hopefully alongside Jodie Comer, as we just talked about, and Seth Rogen as the Thing. Now, we have talked about this before. There have been rumors going around for months now that Seth Rogen could be playing the Thing. Now, I have mixed feelings about this. There's some stuff I really like from Seth Rogen, there's some stuff I don't like from him, but keeping in mind that if he truly is cast as the Thing, he will be in a mocap suit and it will be CGI the entire time. I think it'll be okay because I think the chemistry between John Krasinski and Seth Rogen would be great. Both of these actors have the capability to be extremely funny, but we've also seen both of these actors extremely serious before, which I think is what the Fantastic Four is going to need. Because it's funny, they are funny people, but they are at the same time very serious people. After all, Reed Richards is the smartest man alive. So you can't go all out funny, it just can't be comedy all the time. There has to be a lot of seriousness to it, and I think these two actors with Jodie Comer can definitely pull this off. But I definitely want to hear from you all. What do you think about this? If it's true, do you think it's a good call? Seth Rogen as the Thing. Now, the recent rumor also states that Johnny, aka the Human Torch, is going to be played by Ross Lynch. Now, not going to lie, I had to Google this name. I was not sure who Ross Lynch was. Now, once I looked him up, I realized that he is Austin from Austin and Ally, the show that was on the Disney Channel. So here is kind of the same case as Jody. We have Disney connections here, and he's also in the band R5. Now, he's definitely a younger actor in this cast that we're going to have, but that makes sense because Johnny is Sue's younger brother. Also in the comics, Reed is considerably older than Sue. So all of this casting here actually kind of works, and if they want a young, kind of not immature, but a cocky Johnny Storm, which he typically is, Ross Lynch might not be a bad choice if he can deliver on the acting. Again, I haven't really seen much from him. Now, this kind of goes in line with what we've been hearing for over a year now about the casting for the Fantastic Four, that it's going to be some big name actors and some small name. And this works, so this could be our official cast for the Fantastic Four, which could be announced in a couple of days, and based off of what I've been hearing, it looks like that could be likely. Now, we have more to talk about, but first, thank you to Best Fiends for sponsoring this video. I think we all know how much pressure life can put on us sometimes, and I know it's really easy to put off having a little bit of relaxation time and a little bit of fun, but that shouldn't be how it is, and with Best Fiends, an exciting puzzle adventure game, you can have fiendish fun anywhere, anytime. Best Fiends is an awesome puzzle game that I truly enjoy because it's not just connecting in straight lines, but you can actually connect diagonally, which is a lot more fun, and you can play it anytime because it's super quick to play, and you level up very, very easily. In fact, the first time I played it for only a few minutes, I got all the way to level 6. That's because this game is really easy to just pick up and get in the zone because it's super fun. 1 second you're on level 1, and then the next thing you know, you've connected enough times to get to level 6. And there are literally thousands of different levels you can play, and the best part is Best Fiends is free to download. So don't put off your fun time anymore, you've definitely earned it. Go to the App Store or Google Play to download Best Fiends for free. Plus, earn even more with $5 worth of in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's Best Fiends without the R. Now, the next big one that we have to talk about is Henry Cavill. Now, we've heard a lot of rumors recently about Henry Cavill joining the MCU. The only question is, who exactly is he going to play? And two names have been thrown around: Hyperion and Sentry. Both are kind of Superman characters, so both obviously fit him very well. However, the latest rumor narrows down to one specific role, and that role is Hyperion. And apparently, if this is true, Hyperion could be debuting in Loki Season 2. And if this is true, this is going to be quite interesting because it looks like they're probably going to change his origin from the comics. In the comics, he's an Eternal. He gets sent to Earth as a baby as the race of the Eternals is dying, and his world was dying. Now, Marvel Studios will probably change his origin if this is true because they changed the origin of the Eternals themselves, and that's quite confusing at the moment. But here's something that is really interesting about Hyperion. In his comic origin, his universe and another universe collided with another and both got destroyed. And that's kind of what is happening right now in the MCU with incursions, and that's all going to set up to Avengers Secret Wars. So this rumor actually kind of fits perfectly with everything that is happening in the MCU right now. Now, apparently, if he does appear in Loki, he's going to be the leader of the Squadron Supreme, which he is the leader of in the comics as well. How is that going to fit into the story of Loki Season 2? We have no idea, but I am super excited to see how that works if this rumor ends up being true. And last but not least, Nova. Now, one of the many names that was thrown around this week was John Boyega. Most people know John Boyega as Finn from the recent Star Wars films. His name has been going around for some time now as somebody that Marvel Studios wants in the MCU, and apparently he could be playing Nova. Now, I've also heard that Ryan Gosling could be playing Nova as well, and Kevin Feige has even stated that he would love Ryan Gosling to be in the MCU, and recently, some insiders have listed Ryan Gosling's name as somebody that could be cast for the MCU. So this one is kind of tricky as we have conflicting reports, but the recent report says John Boyega could be playing Nova. And I will say that I think this would be an interesting choice. I would never picture John Boyega as Nova. He is somebody that would never come to my mind if we're talking about casting for Nova. I actually really like the Ryan Gosling casting, but if John Boyega is cast as Nova, I'm definitely going to give him a chance, because if Marvel Studios as Kevin Feige sees something in him, then that means there's something special there. But this one's kind of up in the air right now. Is it going to be John Boyega or Ryan Gosling? Typically, the closer we get to big events like D23, the more kind of starts to slip out. So I'm actually assuming that some, if not all, of these rumors are actually true. But we have 2 days to wait and see. Like I said, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest news leading up to D23, and of course at D23 and after. I feel like D23 is about to be huge. I feel like we're going to get the casting announcements for a lot of different projects coming up, so be ready for Saturday. Don't forget to like the video, and of course, for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.